Hey everyone, I am Aiden and today we are looking at the cheapest cinematic drone footage solution in the world. So what you're going to need is one of these, a Hubsan H501S, brushless GPS toy hobbyist drone. One of these little goodies. I'm going to put all the links to these products in the description below. This is a little clamp thingy. You're going to need one of these. I've gone on and on about this in previous vlogs. I really enjoy this cheap action camera. It's comparative to, I would say, the GoPro Hero 3. But the GoPro Hero 3 doesn't have image stabilization. It's not the best image stabilization within this sort of range of cheaper action cameras, but for the price and what you get, I just think the Firefly 6S and the 7S are just the best deals out there. The prices have dropped. You can find them on GearBest, you can find them on Banggood, TomTop. I'll put all the links below. Immediately what I want to do is focus on the cons. This is the Hubsan H501S. The biggest con of doing this is you're going to burn out the motors eventually, but not as much the motors as the ESCs. The ESCs are the little computer chips running the show, directing power to the different motors so that the quadcopter can move around. The little chips in here will burn out over time and it'll just shorten the life of those chips. So that's the biggest con of doing this. But the thing about burning out the ESCs, you can repair the Hubsan. You can't repair your Spark. I mean, minor, you can maybe replace motors on the Spark, but you can't open the Spark up and change the ESCs and stuff. You just definitely can't do that with this. So with this, you can do the repairs yourself. So if you burn out your ESCs, you burn out your motors, you can replace it. You can even replace the main board, and parts are pretty cheap. You can buy them on any of those websites I mentioned. So that's the major con, but it's kind of manageable. The other minor con is that it'll pretty much halve your flight time, just under half. So it'll fly pretty much a solid 20 minutes, which is incredible compared to the Spark, which is like 12, 13 minutes, 15 minutes if you're lucky. This flies a solid 20 minutes with its little camera. If you put the GoPro on, this thing's only going to fly for about 12 minutes. So that's also kind of a con, but then it's kind of, now you're comparing with a Spark, similar flight times, this thing flies further, and I'm talking about the Spark without a controller now. It flies further, it's easier to repair. There's a lot of pros to this, but we'll talk about solidly about the pros at the end of the video. Alright, so I've got this little gadget, there it is. That does not feel nice, but anyway. Alright, so that goes on there. Okay, that snapping feeling does not feel nice. It feels like you're breaking the drone. There, that went on a bit better. Okay. Then what you do is you pop this in here. Okay, this goes in here like this. Okay, and then the little mounting bracket screw goes in there. Okay, so that wasn't that easy to do, but I'm sure with a bit of practice this is only the second time I've done it. What I did before was I used to just strap the GoPro on with a Velcro strap. That crashed and burned, but basically got caught in the propellers, the strap, so that was a bad way to do it. So I decided this is just the best way to go, you know. It's a little bit more weight, but you're gonna get better results. You can set your angle, so that's quite cool. If you keep the screws tightish when you're flying, so you can change the angle, land it, change the angle again, and that's it. Let's check it out. Okay, so top tip for flying like this. If you want cinematic footage with a drone that doesn't have a gimbal, fly with or against the wind. So with the direction of the wind or against the direction of the wind. Speed, sometimes fast is better, especially when the wind is high, like if you're flying against the wind. But slow and steady is generally the rule of thumb there. And you want to calibrate with the camera on, because the compass is going to get interference from this. And also to switch the screen off the camera if you can. Compass calibration. In vertical. Seems to be calibrating quickly, which is a good sign. And we're just going to wait for GPS. The Hubsan won't start without 6 GPS signals. Also, if you are flying a Hubsan and this is your first time, make sure that's altitude hold mode. Make sure your GPS is on. And there's the video button there. And this is your home button to return to home. I'm waiting for GPS. Come on, there we go. 6 on the Hubsan. Cool, let's do this. 60 frames per second, 1080p. There it is. The Hubsan H501S does it again. I'm not feeling it's straining too much. I think the drone just needed a calibration. The Hubsan H501S, like, I can highly recommend it to anyone. I think it is the best toy drone on the market. It just, like, you know, arguably, a lot of guys will argue with me, but those are like hobbyist guys, you know. Somebody who wants to take photos of their dog, fly around in the park, get some footage. The camera on it already is nice. It's 12 minutes now. The camera is nice alone on its own. But if you want to start pushing the boundaries and you don't want to buy a Spark, this is an excellent drone. You can't fly it near a lot of interference. You know, like the Spark can handle a bit of interference. This thing with interference is going to freak out. It's illegal to fly in built-up areas. Why not get one of these? Take it to the park where there's no interference, where you're allowed to fly, and just enjoy it, you know, for the fun of flying. It's a hobbyist drone, so you're gonna get that joy of just flying RC. Okay, I'm gonna land. Thanks. That is actually very frustrating. So the land was a bit hairy, so I would recommend is the catch landing. As soon as it came down, it started freaking out a little bit. I think also because the battery was low. So I'm testing the limits on that. So it halves your flight time. That's one of the big cons. But the pros of it are, and I was talking about it now while I'm flying, is this is just a great hobby drone. It's great for people messing around who don't want to invest 8,500 Rand, $500-600 for a Spark. You're going to get footage that's good enough for Facebook, is good enough for sharing with your family. You can add it to your cloud album and save your memories, you know. So, you know, from that perspective, the cheapest cinematic drone footage in the world. Hubsan H501S wins again. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Aidan Walls. I hope this inspired you to get out and enjoy your surroundings. Please subscribe to my channel, please like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.